header down lower. Let me send you a mock-up. No, let's look at it. Let's go into the CSS tool, you know, the web browser tools, and let's move it down. Does that look good? Okay, we're agreed. And you get out of that kind of pixel world. And again, I just have to say, Photoshop is not a web standard. It needs to get far away from the web. Floats. Floats are one thing that I find people get frustrated with. And it's the idea of, you know, if I'm not positioning things with a grid, and if I'm not positioning things with a table, because people make fun of me, how am I going to put things where they need to go? So the idea with floats is content, if let's say we have a float left. So we have, you know, an empty center area, we've got or here for you guys, a filled up nav bar and an empty center area. And we've got something that's 500 pixels float left. So it's going to come down and it's going to say, I've got 500 pixels and it's going to fit in. Let's say the page is 800 pixels wide. We've got another thing that's float left and it's 500 pixels. Well, it's going to come down and say, I can't fit here because I'm over the side. 500 and 500 pixels and whatever this is greater than my 800 pixels. So it drops down lower and it docks in, right? So you just think of things sliding down. So I don't really know what a good example is. I was trying to think of a, you know, an illustration, something that might kind of, you know, fitting the pieces together. I really couldn't come up with anything, but if you do, let me know. The idea is really about the shapes, though, things dropping into place, right? And as the whole float one way thing, it's tempting to look at float and you say, well, float, I can float left or float right. Well, I've got some content that goes on the right. I've got a left nav bar. So I'm going to float the nav bar